What I'm going to smash today is the power wheelchair skills, especially for those who are starting with power wheelchairs. These tips are really important for you to really grasp and practice every day. So, hello everyone. I am so glad you found us. And my name is Lisa, and this is Wheelchair. This is World Wheelchair Warriors. And I have brain freezes today. I was just outside at high winds at 18 degrees. So let's not do that one again. All right, people. What I wanted to talk about is power wheelchairs. You know, we're heavy and we're grounded with sometimes with 4 wheels, sometimes with 6. I have 6 wheels, and my power wheelchair weighs 215 pounds, and that is not including me in it. So you have to be aware of how much you weigh and how much damage you could do to a person or to a wall. So let's talk about the first few skills that you need to have when you start with a power wheelchair, and that is speed. You'll see a dial or you'll see some numbers on your keypad, and you want to keep that low. You want to keep it low because you're learning, and if you bump into something, then there's not much damage. So that's really important, not much damage. I remember when I started this channel, a gentleman got on and he said, how do I stop making holes in my walls? I was like, oh dear. So first of all is the speed. So you want to keep it down to a 1 or to a 2 so that you get used to steering and going around corners. So speed, keep it low. So it's because you need that time to feel more and more comfortable. I'm in an institution, so there's people all over the place. There is aides, and there are the members in the building, and then there are doctors and other people coming and going. So I really need to be careful in terms of my speed. And when I'm going down a hall and there's nobody there, then, I can zip down that hall, no problem. But when I come to a corner, and this could be for a home or an institution, when I come from a corner, I come to almost a stop. I don't stop completely, but I really slow down, and I go around the corner slow. So that, number 1, I don't wipe out. And number 2, that I don't run somebody over. And we have an elevator here in the institution, so when I'm going to the dining room, I cross that elevator and I slow down in case somebody comes out of the elevator. So these are pieces that are really important for you to think about. If you're approaching an elevator, slow down. If you're going around a corner, you need to slow down so you don't hit somebody, mainly. I don't think you'll wipe out. So, unless you're on tile floors. But when you're in a crowd, in a mall, or on the streets, sidewalks, you need to slow down because you don't want to hit somebody or have to, do a quick dodge around. You want to avoid all that. So, you want to slow down when there's a lot of people around you or people coming in for a meeting. Sometimes, a lot of times I come in for lunch. I come in first. So I just get my meal and then I park myself, because when there's a lot of people there getting their lunch and coming and going, it's really hard for me to get through, especially when they're seated and their chair is like way out there in the aisle. So I get there first or last. So it's, for meetings or for lunches, you want to get there first or last. And that is very helpful because then you can get around and you don't have to beat the crowds, fight the crowds. So these are tips that I use every day. And this is to prevent me running into someone. Um, if there's someone behind me, if I, from the corner of my eye, I see somebody crossing the back of me, I wait. I don't move because I don't know how close they are to me. I just know they're behind me, and I don't want to back up and hit them. So the people behind you are also important to be careful. So before you back up, you want to see if there's anyone behind you. And then if there is somebody crossing, then you want to wait until they're done crossing, and then you can back up. Um, these are all protocols that I've applied to myself when we're next to and connected to a nursing home right across here, and I have people there that I know, so I go visit them a couple of times a week. So when I'm in the nursing home, I drive in the middle of the lane, the middle of the hallway, in case people come out of the doors, the offices, or, guests who are coming in the main door. So I really slow down to 2.5 about, and I stay in the middle of the hallway, and I drive down the hallway that way. Again, at the corners, I really slow down. I make sure there's nobody coming one way or the other, and then I come around. So it's just a way of dealing with traffic, your traffic and theirs. So they don't expect, they know I come around, but some people don't expect me to come around the corner. Big wheelchair coming down. So it's just a matter of being courteous and being prudent as you drive through an area that has a lot of people coming and going. When I get upstairs to go visit the people that I need to see, a lot of times there's med carts and there's all kinds of things in the hallway. So I really have to slow down to about a 1.5, and to get around the obstacles, The nurses know me already, so they just kind of laugh and say, "Okay, Lisa, we don't want to give you a ticket." So, so I said, "Thank you." But I really slow down in that hallway because there's all kinds of things going on. So, these are things that you have to integrate into your steering the power wheelchair. That's one, steering and your speed. Number two, to keep your power wheelchair clean, either brushing it off. I have a brush that I use, but otherwise I use a soft, I do it two ways. Either I use, those hand wipes. I use the hand wipes to wipe down the power wheelchair from A to Z. Or I use Dawn. I put it in a little bit of water, and then with the sponge, I squeeze all the water out, and then I wipe down the power wheelchair that way. Especially if there's bugs going around or viruses, and I keep my power wheelchair clean all the time. So how often do I clean it? I clean it about once a month. So to clean it, I use either Dawn hand wipes, or I brush it, because sometimes it just gets full of dust. So I just brush the wheels, and I brush off the encasing just so it looks good, looks clean. I was just at the store this morning. I almost freezed my little you-know-what off because I didn't know it was that cold. The sun was out, and I should have known. I should have known. And my hand my steering hand almost turned purple. But that's another thing, to dress warm or to dress cool, depending on the weather, because you're going to be out there for a little while. Anyway, I got home in one piece. There was construction everywhere. I was like, oh, great. And there was, those plywoods, those boards they put over the holes they've drilled. Those were everywhere, and I just had to kind of weave myself around, and I just couldn't go across the parking lot that I usually would to get to the store. I had to do it. I had to stay on the street, and there was barrels on my left, so I knew the cars were going to have to drive on the other side of the barrels, so I was safe. So I stayed behind the barrels, and I had to drive down the next entrance to the parking lot of the store. So it was just really wild. But I got to the store in one piece and got in and got out. Today is the day I'm doing this video is it's International World Wheelchair Day. So it's a celebration for you and for me. Even if you haven't gotten your wheelchair yet, it's your day to celebrate. So it's International Wheelchair Day. So I went across the street to get a big bucket of ice cream for all of us, and we're having what they call brokies, that are just brownies cross with cake. So I thought some ice cream on top of that, it'll be great. So speed and how to drive down a busy hallway. Let's see. Cleaning your power wheelchair or your manual wheelchair, and making sure it is functional. If you notice that something is not quite right, call the company that sold you the wheelchair or call the company that you work with. I work with National Seating and Mobility, and if something kind of goes wrong, then I give them a call and set up an appointment, and they'll come and fix my whatever broke. So, which I do have my armrest is not behaving, so I'll have to figure that one out and call them, set up an appointment. So those are the basics on a power wheelchair, especially because we can make holes in the walls or the doors, and it all has to do with speed. I do have a video on how to open doors, and usually the doors here are automatic. My door for my bedroom has a spring in it, so I only have to work at opening it. I just go through it, and then it closes on its own. It's the greatest thing. And it's on the hinge. Up there you'll see, I've taken a picture of it before, but that little hinge there has a spring in it. And so I don't have to worry about closing it, because sometimes closing it can be a pain. But what you want to do with manual or power wheelchairs, that you want to align yourself sideways along with the door, and then close it. But closing doors is not easy. I think it's easier to open them, but I don't bother too much with that because mine closes on its own. And there are other creative ways of having a door close on its own. So that's an idea. So you don't have to bother so much with the doors. Let's see what else. Those are the basics. If you have a power wheelchair or if you have a manual wheelchair, those are important tips. Especially even in your home, if you have a cat or if you have a dog or if you have your grandma or your sisters or your mom, you don't want to run them over. So I'm just saying, don't do that. Just go around corners slowly so you don't bump into anybody unintentionally. And with power wheelchairs, there's a kick in our motor, so we want to prevent from making holes in our walls. You'll see where the map is back there. There is also a protector on the corner there because the distance between my bed and the wall is not very wide. It's about this wide. I can get my wheelchair through, but sometimes I bump into the wall, and I didn't want to completely destroy it. So I asked the nursing home where we get our equipment and stuff. I asked them if they could put a protector on that corner, and they did. So now that wall is protected. So that's something, if you find yourself bumping into a particular corner or a particular wall, you can get a protector at the store, at Home Depot, or you can get them at True Value, and you don't have to drill them on. You just glue them on to the wall, and then you can save that wall from you scraping it all the time. So you might have a wall like that in the kitchen. You might have a wall like that in your bathroom. Wherever that wall is that you keep on bumping into, get a corner protector, glue it on, and problem solved. So, and eventually you'll get used to that corner being there. I find myself that I get used to, like in the bathroom, I was bumping into a particular wall, and now I'm not, because I'm used to it being there now. So those are my tips for especially those who have power wheelchairs for the first time. These are the pointers I could give you. I'm hoping they're helpful. Share them with others or a loved one if you have one that uses a power wheelchair, and I'm sure it will be helpful. And as you get used to the power wheelchair, then you'll know what speeds to go at. It will be very helpful. But if you're a person who keeps on making holes in your walls and your doors, slow down. I am so glad you all found us and are listening to these videos. I'm hoping they are helpful for you. And feel free to do a like and subscribe, and that'll help this channel a ton. And so thank you for coming. Come again. I will be in the next videos, of course. I will try not to freeze myself to death this time. And take care, everyone, and take care of each other.